but I wouldn't have had the phone go on.
All right, good morning. It's 10 o'clock, so welcome to this ordinary meeting of the Douglas Shire Council being held on Tuesday, 14th of December 2021 from Osborne Council Chambers. I hereby give notice that in accordance with Section 277E of the Local Government Regulations 2012 that the ordinary meeting of Council be restricted in numbers of public attendance because of the health and safety reasons associated with the public health emergency involving COVID-19. This ordinary meeting of Council will be available to view via live stream on Council's website and will be available for others to watch at a later time. I'd like to acknowledge the Guugialangi people who are the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I'd also like to pay respect to their elders, both past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to other Indigenous Australians who may be listening or watching our meeting this morning. Our attendance, we note that all councillors are present and we have a minimum number of staff here, and we also have a member of the public in the gallery and also a member for the media. Conflicts of interest, councillors?
No. Nothing
today. No deputations. I did give notice of a mayoral minute, but on reflection over the weekend, I'm going to withdraw that. My intention is to allow this process to happen as quickly as possible so we can keep moving forward and giving the community a project and an asset that they want. All right, so we'll go to the minutes. Going to confirm the minutes from the ordinary council meeting, I believe it is on the 30th of November. Is the one before that? Yes, Tuesday 30th of November, for the mover please. Councillor Scomerson, seconded by Councillor McEwen. Any comments? All those in favour? And that's carried unanimously. And that takes us to our agenda items as listed, starting off at 5.1, which is the Biosecurity Plan and Surveillance Program. Good morning. Excuse me. Now, the recommendation is that Council resolves to adopt the Douglas Shire Biosecurity Plan 22 to 26 and adopt the Douglas Shire Council Invasive Plants and Animal Surveillance Program 22 to 26. Do we have a mover for this one? Councillor Scomerson got in there. Councillor Nolly seconded. Councillor Scomerson, would you like to speak to it?
No, it's all good. Good work, thank you.
Anyone wish to speak against? Any other comments from councillors? Councillor Nolly.
I just want to completely accept this, no problem at all. I just want to really stress to the public the importance of this, how difficult a job this is placed on councils, individuals also. It's a never-ending battle, and thank you for the report. I hope as a council we can do a little bit, and the problems of both flora and fauna in Australia, but in particular our very unique and diverse world of natural spaces. It's very, very important. So just thank you. Yes, and I completely support this program.
Thank you. Any other comments at all? No, but totally agree with Councillor Nolly. It's such an important thing for this region up here that we keep on top of this. So with that, we'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? And that's carried unanimously. All right, takes us to 5.2 on the agenda. Thank you very much, staff. Naming of an unnamed road on Mossman Gorge Road, Mossman. The recommendation is the council resolves to name the unnamed road off Mossman Gorge Road, Mossman, leading to Douglas Shire Council's gravel pit, the Manjul Dimby Road. I think that's how it's pronounced correctly. Something like that. We have a mover for that one. Councillor Zamataro, seconded by Councillor, I think Councillor McEwen got in there very quickly. Councillor Zamataro, would you like to speak to it?
Oh, look, I think it's a good name for a road like that. It's virtually at the foot of Mount Demi, or Manjul Dimby as the local people call it. So I think it couldn't be a more appropriate name. We did speak to officers about one of the other suggestions was Woodbury Road, but they were worried that would be confusing with the aged care home. So Manjul Dimby, I think, is a perfect name for it.
Wonderful. Anyone wish to speak against? Any other comments from councillors? No. We'll put it to the vote then. All those in favour? And that's carried unanimously. 5.3 on the agenda today, we have the combined application for a boundary realignment and change of an existing approval for a material change of use of 23 to 25 McCosson Street and 20 Warner Street, Port Douglas. The recommendation is quite extensive there. Councillors have had an opportunity to go through it. Do we have a mover for that one? I'm happy to move it. Any seconder on it? Councillor Scomerson? There's no great major change from this, from what I can read in the documents. The two properties, just a car park realignment. So I'm more than happy with the details that are in here. It's been recommended by the staff for approval, so I'm happy with that. Anyone wish to speak against it? Any comments from councillors on it?
Just one question for you, Mayor Kerr. I noticed that you did, Ms. Elverstone, concern is raised the extent of the reduction sought in the car park. But that won't impact on any other application, the reduction that's been allowed for this?
We've gone by what the essence of the scheme is saying, which is a combined application looking that the owner owns two properties. They could have put an application in over the whole of the two properties and would have got the same result. If they stopped at this point in time and sold the property at the back, they still have a benefit for that. We weren't prepared to go down to the limit that they were seeking. We thought that's enough, but it's difficult to judge car parking in the current times because COVID hasn't generated much parking lately in that central area of Port Douglas.
Yeah.
And we don't know moving forward whether people will learn not to use cars because of the limited availability of rental cars now. So whether that will change people's movements. But that was the main concern, that they were wanting to go down to 9 and we felt that was too much. But we still are a bit hesitant, but feel that given the site at the back is so constrained, this may give opportunity for that to be developed.
And the easement that's there, I noticed says a new access easement.
It creates a different access easement because of the arrangement of the car parking spaces, so they get access to those additional car spaces for the land at 20 Warner Street.
It's very long there.
Any other questions? All right, with that, we'll put it to the vote then. All those in favour? And that's carried unanimously. 5.4 on the agenda today is the reconfiguration of a lot, Captain Cook Highway, Craiglee, Stage 2, Newport Estate. Again, it's a very lengthy recommendation by the planners. I'm sure councillors have had the opportunity to go through that. Do we have a mover for it? Yep. Councillor Noley just got in there and Councillor Scomerson seconding. Councillor Noley, would you like to speak to it?
No, it's fine, thank you. There's nothing wrong with this, I think it's fine. They're going to go up to 4 stages by the rules, is that correct?
They're going to a number of stages. They haven't indicated a final endorsed or approved master plan, and that is our concern. They just keep putting stages ahead to us. So what they're developing is what they propose. The advice in Part B is a bit stronger than previous times. I think we're a bit over not having that master plan approved, and we really need some certainty for our infrastructure planning.
Sorry, I asked a question before I kind of realised what I was doing. Is that that's okay? And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was just for, once again, more than anything for the public as opposed to the councillors, a development that kind of builds out from the centre is the type of thing that's easier for council to look after, I suppose, going forward. It makes a lot of sense to try to put developments piecemeal around the area.
It's an area that's planned for development, both this site and to the south of Andreessen Road. The concern with the master planning that they've put forward so far hasn't had that connection through to Andreessen Road, and seeking to have a separate access to the state highway, which the state has indicated that's not on the books. We've said it has to meet Andreessen Road. It would be preferable that those next stages do get down to there and then expand out from that, so that there is that trunk connectivity. But that's up to really the developer to put a proposal to us.
Thank you.
What about, if I may, the residents of Millman Drive, etc.? Do we have some confidence we can give them that this isn't going to keep expanding without the other trunk
We
entrance?
can't do more than assess the current application before us. Part B is really saying we want to have that master planning and we want to put conditions on when stages occur. And we're also asking that they upgrade the intersection with an auxiliary left-hand turn from Buell Street to the highway. So if traffic is going right or straight through that intersection, that's not obstructing traffic moving to the left, which appears to be the issue in the mornings. When people are going to school or Mossman or into Port Douglas, then they're obstructing a line of traffic going left. It is a highway intersection, so we are constrained a bit of what we can push, but I think enough's enough with the stages. So far, we are trying to accommodate more housing in that area as soon as possible, but we're concerned about this add-on proposal and nature of development.
Absolutely. I mean, because whilst we're all positive about growing that estate, I know that's been one of the biggest complaints from the residents already in that estate, is that the whole traffic has to go through that one little street past Plantation into the estate. It's causing a lot of duress on those residents in Millman Drive. So it's certainly something we'll be looking at as we move forward then.
Would that be a condition for the next stage?
We can look at that. The Millman Drive does cater for a higher traffic load than is what now. So we're a bit constrained that way, but we certainly are wanting them to have a connection through to the south as soon as possible.
Yep.
And it's also good to see majority of the blocks are between 600 and 700 square metres, not small.
Yes, the applicant had asked for smaller lots, but we keep getting siting dispensations and we're really quite firm on that size. They can always go up and have a bigger lot size and seek to do dual occupancy, but that's not what they're purporting to want.
Thank you. All right, with that we'll put it to the vote then. All those in favour? And that's carried unanimously. Next thing on the agenda is 5.5 Carnival 2022 proposed program and contractual arrangements. The recommendation is that Council endorses the draft program for Carnival 22 and delegates authority under Section 257 of the Local Government Act 2009 to the Chief Executive Officer to finalise the program and execute any necessary contracts. Do you have a mover for this one, please? Councillor Scomerson, seconded by Councillor McEwen. Councillor Scomerson, would you like to speak to?
No, good work. It should be exciting being extended that few more days. And that's, it's a good little week for the Shire.
Anyone wish to speak against, first of all? All right, any further comments from councillors?
Yeah, I'm very happy to support this, no problem. I was just wondering the recommendation, it says delegates authority to the CEO to finalise the program, and I've got no problem for the CEO to finalise the program. I was just wondering if it should be considered something in there with regular updates before that finalisation occurs to council all, I should say, or council, however you want to say it. So it's, the actual finalisation, of course, done by the CEO, that's fine. But in the meantime, councillors are brought along on the trip before we get there. And it could well be nothing to be done except to just updates about it. So I don't know if that's a consideration. With regular updates to councillors.
So you need to, you're proposing to move it or? Okay,
I'm very happy to move something if councillors think that that's kind of going to be a good addition to it. I would, okay, so my suggestion, okay, I'll move something. There we go. The council endorses it. The council endorses the draft program for Carnival 2022. And delegates, sorry.
If I can just ask a question while you're thinking of that.
Yeah.
So with this, we are approving a document that says for up to a budget of 170, I think it was, 170,000 cash and 35 in kind.
Yeah.
So anything that's going to be outside that scope will have to come back to us anyway, wouldn't it?
Probably. But look, honestly, as I said, it could actually be nothing really in that this does nothing, but just in case, put it in there before that final thing is signed off on.
I'm just concerned if it's any contracts or stuff that have to be signed for bands or for equipment, will they have to come back to us before the CEO can sign it when it's in the budget? That I'm just...
not if it's already there. I'm just talking about it in case anything else gets changed. So, okay, so this is, okay, so if there's any changes or things like that that happen before it comes to council, which it probably would anyway, I'm assuming it would anyway, and that's what I was just wondering, do we need to put it in there? If the CEO needs to sign a contract that's already in this proposal, I don't see why.
My concern is that we're stepping into an operational area. The budget is there, the recommendation is there of what the amount is, and I think as long as it doesn't go over that, it should be an operational, by all means, if anything has to be expanded, then it has to come back to us.
I'm not talking about operations, I'm talking about if the program's changed.
Sorry, Ms. Golding, just
Through you, Mayor Michael. Many of those similar recommendations have to finalise minor amendments to the program.
Yeah, maybe
Would
that.
that satisfy?
Yeah, maybe something simple like that.
Anything major
Yeah.
would of course come back, but minor amendments being, obviously if it's swapping one violinist for another, unless it's Nigel Kennedy, nobody cares. Does that satisfy?
Maybe something like that. I know I would assume that council would have been kept updated if there's anything major anyway. It wouldn't have probably been that, but I just wondered if it needs to be put in there.
Through you, Mayor, is this through council report or through workshops?
No, I'm happy just... If something big comes up, it probably have to be... I'm talking about something very major, it have to be a report anyway.
Yeah.
And as I said, it might be 2 5-minute reports during a workshop. That's what it might be.
Yep.
And if nothing changes, it might not be anything.
Yep.
That's all. It's not... I don't think it's particularly onerous. I'm not asking staff to do anything particularly onerous.
Well, again, through you, Mayor, the proposal is a draft, so it's a draft proposal with council focusing on the 3 main events, so there'll probably be a lot of changes in the back end of what is actually presented today. So I'll keep you abreast of that through workshops and that sort of thing, if that's what you're referring to.
That's
More than actual contractual stuff.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
just an update.
I'm not worried about the
Sounds
details of
typical.
the contract.
Yep.
All right. So do you still wish to put across?
Well, as Ms Gold said, perhaps with my, where would you have suggested that, Ms Gold?
It's, Brenda's ahead of
I guess
us
she's on
through you,
finds it in
Michael.
my, yeah, that work. So yes, that I'm fine with that. So I'll put forward that amendment.
Is there a seconder on that amendment? Councillor Zamataro? We'll put the amendment to the vote. All those in favour of the amendment? Right, so that's carried. So it now becomes the motion. Now, Councillor Scomson, you're happy with that then, since you first put that up. Councillor McEwen, you're happy with that?
Yes.
So that now becomes the motion. So we'll now put that motion to the vote. All those in favour of that motion? Sorry, do you need that voted again? Well, Councillor Scomerson's happy to move that again, and Councillor McEwen seconding it. So we'll now put that to the vote. All those in favour? And that's carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Takes us to 5.6, the Australia Day Awards 2022. The recommendation is that Council notes and endorses the Australia Day Award recipients in line with the Douglas Shire Australia Day Award guidelines and to delegates authority under Section 257 of the Local Government Act 2009 to the Mayor and Chief Executive Officer to finalise any minor amendments in relation to the administering of the Australia Day Awards ceremony for 2021. Is there a mover for this one, please?
22.
It should be 22, yes. So we've done 22 or 21 already, haven't we? Thank you. Okay, so amendments in relation to administering the Australia Day Awards ceremony 2022. A mover for that one. Councillor Scomerson, seconded by Councillor McEwen. Thank you. Councillor Scomerson, would you like to speak to it?
I think it's a great time of the year for the people in the Shire, and it's a big thank you to the people that spend a lot of time doing volunteer work and extra work into our Shire. So it is a good day, and it's Australia Day, so I think it's very excited this year with the great nominations that we've received.
Anyone wish to speak against? Any other comments from councillors?
Yeah, if I could just say that there were so many good nominations made, it's a shame we have to pick one from each category. But, yeah, there were some great nominations.
Yes, couldn't agree more. Probably the best year we've had for a long time as far as the amount of people that put forward and the quality that was put forward. It was great. All right, so we'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? And that's carried unanimously. Thank you. All right, 5.7, Financial Report November 21. The recommendation is that Council notes the Financial Report for November 21. Do we have a mover for this one, please?
Sure.
Yep, Councillor McEwen. And I'm happy to second that one. Let's get it on the floor. Councillor McEwen, would you like to speak to it?
Nothing really much to say that's not shown there. We're plugging along. It's just going to be interesting to see how things change from here.
Anyone wish to speak against? Any other comments from councillors there?
I suppose the only thing I can say is we now that the borders are all opening up, and so hopefully we can start getting a lot of our facilities moving in the Shire. So it's just a wait and see what happens, I suppose. But still, I think the finance staff do an excellent job in this council. So total confidence in them. Thanks.
Couldn't agree more. As someone said in an email the other day, we're the Harvey Norman of councils. compared to other councils, the way that we've been tracking. So, you know, as Councillor Scomerson said, we have faith in the staff to do the best they can, and I'm sure they absolutely will. With that, we'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? And that's carried unanimously. And that is the last thing on the agenda today. We have no notice of motions, no petitions, and so that closes the meeting at 10:24. Thank you very much, everyone.
Going to move on to the workshop now.
We shall. I just need 10 minutes.